Hey, welcome back. Let's take a look at how habits are formed. Now, you may be familiar with the old adage that says repetition is the mother of all learning. And when it comes to habits, nothing could be more true. You see, habits are those things that we do consistently and automatically without even thinking about them. And they can be formed consciously or unconsciously, which just means on purpose or not on purpose. But no matter what, all habits are formed by hearing something over and over and over, or by doing something over and over and over. That is why you're hearing the same core principles of this program several times throughout the video series. You see, we know that the more times you hear the message, the deeper the groove gets set in your brain and the easier and more natural the entire process becomes.
Simply put, the more consistently you do something over time, the stronger the habit and the more subconsciously we perform that activity. And we like forming habits because it frees up our mind to think about other things. Think about the first time you learned how to drive a stick shift car. You had to really concentrate. You pushed in the clutch, you shifted the gear, gave it a little gas, released the clutch. It's not too fast, not too slow, just so much going on. Until one day you smash in the clutch, you shift gears, you roll down your window, turn on the radio, put on your makeup, and call somebody on your cell phone, all without a second thought.
Now, we're not condoning any of these additional activities while you're driving. All we're saying is that if you are on your cell phone, let's keep it hands-free. It's the law. Now, as we said, all habits are formed. We weren't born with habits. And although some may be more deeply ingrained than others, all of them can be either changed or replaced. The key is always intention, consistent action, and time. In order to form a habit, we must ultimately do something. Habits really listen to action.
Let's take a look at forming the habit of running. We have found it infinitely easier to do a small amount of the desired activity consistently, ideally every day, rather than doing a large amount of that activity just every once in a while. Sounds pretty simple, right? So let's say that our goal is to run 4 miles 3 times a week.
Now, according to this philosophy, we wouldn't go out and run 4 miles the first day. We would start by running around the block a couple times a week until we got in the habit of running consistently a couple times a week just around the block. Then we would make it a couple blocks, then we would make it a half a mile, and then we'd go on and on until we were up to 4 miles on our running days. But let's take a look at how most people approach getting in shape.
So first we get all excited just about getting in shape. And this time we really commit to ourselves that we're going to do it. We go out and we buy new shoes, new running clothes, energy bars, etc. We load up our iPods with the Rocky soundtrack, we go to bed early, we set our alarm for extra early Monday morning, and we push ourselves through all 4 miles of running / primarily walking. And after we finish, in our moment of glory, guess what?
We feel terrible. We feel terrible physically because we really weren't in shape to run that far. We feel terrible emotionally because now we have proof that we're actually not in as good a shape as we thought. And mentally, the assault continues with things like with our inner voice saying things like, I can't believe I had to walk, or I couldn't even run a couple miles without feeling like I was gonna die.
So Wednesday comes along and we're still sore from Monday. Not to mention the whole experience was horrible. So how much enthusiasm do you think we have to get up extra early that day and put our bodies through another incredibly painful experience? Less than 0 sound about right?
Yeah, but wait a minute. It's so much more fun to run 4 miles than just around the block. I'd rather hit a home run than a base hit. We know, we've fallen for that same temptation before. But ask any great person what made them great, and it was never one big hit. It was never doing some great thing the one and only time that they did it. It was always a steady, consistent pursuit of their goals. They did the little things over and over until the results were so big that to the outside world, it looked like magic, or worse, luck.
As Earl Nightingale says, success is simply a matter of luck. Ask any failure. Living at your best, feeling fantastic, is a continual process and not a temporary shift. You see, we are creatures of habit, and good or bad, we are going to be experiencing the consequences of our behaviors.
Get in the habit of having good habits. 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 Do you get the point? Get in the habit of having good habits.